Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today we're hoping the developers worked out all the bugs in the latest hotfix, because man oh man, there is no point in spending another hour trying to get the game to work. But we are not here to complain, we are here to watch Mr. Yo playing as the Romans in blue take on Villese playing as the Tatars in red. Now, while the players herd their herdables explore their immediate surroundings with adorable piggly wigglies and scouts, and try to get their butts up the Feudal Age as soon as possible, why don't we take a look at the Civ matchup we'll be watching today. Now, the Romans are a mixed land-based naval civilization with a few strong unit features that make them potentially very dangerous in the later stages of a game. To start with, Roman infantry units get double the effect of blacksmith armor upgrades, and they have access to the Legionary, a tanky, well-armored, unique infantry unit that replaces their two-handed swordsmen and champions, and comes with a pretty decent attack bonus against other infantry. Now, to make their infantry even deadlier, the Romans can turn to their second unique unit, the Centurion. This is a heavy cavalry unit that increases the movement speed and attack speed of all militia line units under its command. Now, to overwhelm their opponents on the battlefield, the Romans can actually upgrade their entire militia line, as if the features I mentioned weren't enough. Their knight line and their Centurion units to train 50% faster and come with a small +5 charge attack similar to the Burgundian Custelier, although obviously much smaller. To back up their army, though, the Romans do have access to one of the deadliest scorpions, if not the deadliest scorpions in the game. Not only do these siege units cost a lot less gold, think Schlachter privileges, but for scorpions, and it comes automatically, no need to pay to upgrade them, but their minimum range is also lowered from 2 to 1. They can be upgraded to fire faster, and they're the only scorpions in the game that benefit from the ballistic technology, which means they will chase you down, they will hunt you down, and they will kill you even if you're moving away. Now, to help a player get these features and bonuses as fast as possible, Roman villagers do gather resources and build and repair structures 5% faster than generic villagers. Taking a look at the north of our screen. Oh man, did I have this pig highlighted the entire time? In any event, we've got the Tatars, a civilization that does whatever it possibly can to push you towards mounted units. Their cavalry archers come with extra line of sight. They get Thumb Ring and Parthian tactics for free. Some of their mounted units can be upgraded to get extra armor, and their first unique unit is the Keshik, a medium cavalry unit that actually generates gold every time it pokes and prods an opponent. This, by the way, can be very, very useful in the later stages of the game once this stuff, this shiny metal, is gold a metal? I think it's gold. Gold is a precious metal, becomes more and more scarce. Now, once you've built your army and want to take engagements and battles with your opponent, very important for the Tatars to take the high ground wherever they can, because instead of the usual 25% extra damage done, they do 50% more damage if they have the higher ground. This especially becomes more important in Imperial once Trebs start coming out, because Trebs can be upgraded for the Tatars to get extra range, which means that a fully upgraded Tatar Treb comes with a massive 19 tile range. Now, to feed their big, hungry, cavalry-centric population, Tatar herdables do contain 50% more food, and starting in Castle Age, they get 2 free sheep every time they build a town center, which means, remember, with the thing I just mentioned, their sheep, 2 of them, come with almost, or maybe exactly 300 food. Those are the 2 civilizations. Why don't we take a look at the bases as both players head up to Feudal? I'm assuming Mr. Yo was going to head up the second loon completed. Let's take a look at his base. Primary gold and stone exposed to the front. Holy moly, is this an open base if we've ever seen one? The north, the east, completely open. The back, I don't mind these 3 small-ish forests. He's got a little bit of extra gold here to the back as well, but additional resources very, very far away and very much in the forward position. But man, oh man, look at this base. Talk about open. I mean, I usually enjoy seeing 3 forests if they're in the shape of a triangle, but this is not a shape of a triangle at all. This is Orion's belt of death and destruction here to the back of Mr. Yo's base. Villese, his primary gold nice and secure in the back, stone exposed in the front, and just like Mr. Yo, I mean, this is pretty much an open base. The west is open, the south is open, the east is open, the back, I mean, he does have a big fat forest here, 8,900 wood. How much does Mr. Yo have? Only 47, so half the size of the forest. That doesn't really seem very fair. Although Villese does have one forest in the forward position, although that actually, I shouldn't say that's a bad thing. That's a pretty damn good thing. We'll see how the players decide to wall themselves off. For now, it looks like our Tatar does not want to take any damage, and so recognizes that at this moment, only really melee units are going to be moving forward, and walls himself in preemptively. Okay, expecting to cut this bamboo and this autumnal oak. He preemptively places a few palisade walls. Let's take a look at what the players are building. So at the end of the day, these are pretty much open bases. This is not really a map where you can easily wall yourself in. We'll see how the players decide to react. Mr. Yo never wanted to shy away from big, long wall-offs. And there we go, almost at the 10-minute mark of the game. I was wondering when it would happen. Usually at the 10.5-minute mark, we have our first glitch. Two lumber camps, we see a stable. And that's basically it for our Roman, who moves forward with his scout. Villese sees this, has the better army count, does have archers and spearmen already out in the defensive position. Mysterio obviously has seen where his opponent is, seeing as how his scout is going straight north. Villese has also. So both players have seen exactly where their opponent is. Both have seen exactly where to apply pressure. Villager finds himself on the wrong side of the palisade. Uh-oh. Mysterio probably could have stuck around a little bit longer there. That spearman was not that close. Would have taken some damage from the archers, but you know what? He probably wouldn't have killed the villager. So smart move by him to back away. No need to take any unnecessary damage here. This is literally his entire army. Both players sitting on 24 villagers. Our Tatar army, double the size. As a blacksmith gets plopped down, we know there's an archery range because we've seen archers. So he's going to have his double prerequisite structures, and looks like Mr. Yo also has completed his. Where, oh, where is it? Oh, never mind. There it is, right in front of our very eyes. Am I the only one who has difficulty with some civilizations to see the structures? I don't know why I find this, like, to me, this house and blacksmith, it looks like three houses almost. House here, house in the center, and house to the north. In any event, my visual spatial issues aside, we are 12 minutes into the game, still no kills, and it is now our Tatar who moves forward. But Mysterio preemptively creates a bit of a wall off. I thought I heard a unit die a second ago, but the kill count is still 0-0. I thought I heard somebody grunt. I'm surprised this is not an actual anything. This is just a background shrub for Zach Galifianakis to set up his chair. 9 army count to 6, so the same 3 army count lead for our Tatar, although as the numbers grow, obviously 3 as a percentage becomes much, much smaller. And look at Villese trying to lure these scout cavalry units with a scout of his own so that the archers could take care of them. And now he's moving back. Okay, we'll see if this is a full-on retreat or if this is just a conglomeration of his army. Mr. Yo, don't mind this at all, has created a bit of a backwards. I wonder why here and now why just pure south. Oh, because he hasn't explored it. So, you know, I talk about scouting a lot. There you go. Don't feel too bad if you end a game winner or loser and didn't scout a certain part of the map. Everyone is susceptible to this. Is this open? No, this is a bamboo. And again, the autumnal oak. And there we go. First kill of the game to Mr. Yo, but who got it? Don't think it was the town center in this case. Probably the skirmishers, if I had to guess. Yep. As now Villese realizes, uh-oh, my archers are good, but this counter unit is going to counter them pretty damn easy and has to back away. Takes a little bit of HP damage, nothing too crazy, 2 HP. 1% of their HP damage. Needs to add in something else. I don't know that going really pure archer against an opponent who's gone full skirmisher is the way to go. I mean, never discount the Tatar high ground feature. Right now they attack on a 5, so that'll become 7.5. I don't know exactly how the rounding works. I've said this before. I've made a note to check it out. It is literally on a list of about 70 different things that I want to accomplish. But you didn't tune into this video to hear me complain and lament about the things I have to do. You came here to see little units fighting and killing each other on a little map. And that is the beauty of Age of Empires as the players try to outmaneuver, outsmart, and outplay each other. I wonder if he's just relying on these archers, mainly trying to get the high ground, which, if you take a look at his base, There's very little high ground here. There's literally one hill here and one hill where the berries are, and his archers are nowhere near. This is like the horns of Hatin over here near the Tatar base, as more and more kills start getting racked up in our total kill count. 4-1 to our Roman, although he has to back away. Now the scouts are going to close on the minimum range of the skirmishers, which means they're not going to be able to fight back. Where the hell are these archers going? They are playing a dangerous game here, are these archers, and now Villese has to retreat. He can't take away the high ground advantage. It literally is the only thing that is going to save you against skirmishers is the high ground with archers, and Mr. Yo, kill count 10-5. Double the kill count. What is our Tatar building to the back here? A market, okay. So the player is still vying for position. 18 minutes into the game, berry walls get destroyed. Not too sure why. I wonder if he wants to create an escape path for his villagers in case these skirmishers move forward, but you could just have deleted one palisade. You didn't have to delete all of them. Now all of a sudden you're very exposed to these scouts. Although their HP is not great at all. And what are the players training right now? One villager for our Roman, no military training at all. Whereas our Tatar is full gung-ho. 6 scouts, 10 archers. He wants to take a fight. This is not an army that you build to just hang out with. Although he is gathering the resources to go up to Castle Age. Looks like he's balancing his economy. Mr. Yo already en route with a stable being plopped down here. Rather a second stable. Okay, a bit of a tit for tat here. A few scouts do lose their lives. What's the HP on you? Pretty damn good HP, so he can engage into these skirmishers. Unfortunately for him, Mr. Yo has done a bit of a tactical retreat here, and these scouts can't really engage underneath the town center. If they were still here in the middle of the map, those skirmishers would be in serious trouble. This is still closed to the back. Villese is going to discover that his opponent's base is entirely walled off as he now also clicks up to Castle Age. Not terrible, about only 40 seconds behind his opponent. And honestly, this is I'm going to zoom out. Apologies, as always, to anyone on a smaller screen. This is not that small of a map. So 40 seconds in Castle Age versus your opponent, not the end of the world, especially if you're risking your skirmishers. They do get 2 shots off, 3 shots off at these scouts. Ooh, a bit of a traffic jam there, and Villese playing with fire. Mr. Yo garrisons his villagers, a little bit of idle time for those resource gathering units, but ultimately it's our Tatar who loses a unit, and now the kill count remains 5 apart, 12-7. Nobody's killed a villager yet, and finally the last of the Roman scouts die right as our Roman hits Castle Age. And what will he do immediately? Getting town watch. He does not want to get blindsided by any kind of archer fire. Town center in an incredibly aggressive position. By the way, not something we see every day. I see the players have disengaged, so a good time to mention this as our Tatar also hits castle. Mr. Yo did not go after his primary gold, which is, as we saw, incredibly exposed. What he did was go for the backwards gold, which is pretty damn smart. The problem for him is both his primary and primary stone and gold are very much in the forward position. We'll see how he handles that. For now, a town center is not a terrible structure to build. That why do I say that? Because the Tatars don't really have right now, I should say the Tatar, not the Tatars in general. They do still have mangonels, but the Tatar right now has really nothing that can engage into this town center. And by the way, has Villese seen? Yeah, he's seen the town center. He's seen the siege workshop. He must know that's for scorpions. You've gone crossbow. You're going against the Romans. You must know that there are scorpions coming out of here. So he might want to add some siege of his own, our Tatar. For now, he just keeps losing units. Although catching up in the kill count, out comes the scorpion. And that's enough to zone away the entire Tatar army as a few camels pop out. Okay, so really expecting cavalry from our Roman. Let's take a look at the bases as the players disengage. A third town center. Okay, I thought for sure he's going to build a university. He's going to get ballistics, but no, he's going full on economics. And a bit of a, I don't know what to call this, a bit of a phallic bong-shaped base here for our Tatar, who is sticking on one town center. And as He engages in the front of Mr. Yo's base. Mr. Yo looks like he's trying to sideswipe the Tatar base, but the camel comes out. The camel gets the kill. Fantastic get there. Another knight just hanging out. No real line of sight. These units are not exactly Frankish knights. And so they are going to see a big, fat, juicy wall off here. And, oh, going all the way home? Maybe not. So let's try to figure out what the game plan of these two players are, because they're both sitting on the same villager count. Our Tatar has maintained an army lead, now about 30% bigger army. And I thought he was going to continue with army, but no, he goes ahead and plops down a second town center. I see he's building some infrastructure outside of his base, a monastery. He wants to gather relics. Oh, the tiger springs into action as the camel chases the horse, and all manner of quadrupedal legs, quadrupedal animals are activated all of a sudden, and the camel has to get the hell out of here. There's no way you can engage into a army that has a monk. Is quadrupedal the right word? Is it quadpedal? I'm gonna have to look that up. Add that to the list, number 71, that I have to look up of various things. Tiger. He made such a long ass journey just to die in front of this camel. I wonder, are camels afraid of tigers and lions and things like that? I know, for example, elephants are very much afraid of mice and things like that, and you know, smaller little animals. I wonder if I mean, honestly, anything should be afraid of a tiger. Tigers are pretty much a badass animal that will kill you and then carry your dead corpse up a tree, because their jaws are just that strong and their bodies are just that strong. Third town center going up for a Tatar right as his army takes a pretty decent battle here, and all of a sudden Mr. Yo's army melts. Crossbows might want to get the hell out of here before taking any more damage, but doesn't look like the skirmishers managed to kill any more of them. Our Tatar still a 7-unit lead. This time, though, it's a little bit more than 30%. Now it looks like it's about 50%. Numbers and percentages, always fun to work with. Mr. Yo's scouting, by the way, is fantastic. Both players creating an interesting little triangle shape in their respective bases. Our Roman to the front, our Tatar also kind of to the front. Very good stone mining location here. There are those 2 free sheep you get as the Tatars when you click up to castle and build a town center, and down goes another scorpion. I'm not too sure how long this Mangonel is going to survive with the knight's body blocking the camels, but that is going to be an expensive body block. These camels come with a +9 attack against cavalry, which means these knights have to be very, very careful. Converted camel dies to the crossbows, I believe, as more and more camels stream forward. What is going on here? Looks like Red decided to delete his own camel as opposed to give him to the Roman Empire. Or maybe Roman Republic? Nah, Roman Empire, much cooler. As a macaw flies over everything and sees all the blood on the battlefield. Let's zoom out again. The players have disengaged yet again. I feel like I've said this recently in a game, I believe yesterday or the day before. The kill count seems kind of low for all the action that we've been seeing. Our Tatar has managed to get 2 villager kills, but I feel like we've been seeing engagements on and off for the last 15 or so minutes. Down goes the Mangonel. Mr. Yo just kind of standing there watching it go down. Okay. Let's take a look at the upgrades. +1, +2 on his knights. +1, +1 on his camels. Probably should prioritize another defensive armor upgrade as he loses another camel. And his monk doesn't get anything done as it dies. These players taking little bites out of each other. This is like small little sharks biting into each other, and I am here for it. 1 relic apiece. Look at Villese contesting Mr. Yo's usual dominance when it comes to relics. By the way, have the players seen all the relics? It looks like there's really only 1 relic left on the map, so I expect to see 2 and 2 in a second. Red has not scouted any of this, so obviously doesn't know there's a relic there. Oh, and Mr. Yo, look at how sour that is. 1 tile away. That is incredibly sour, as his cavalry now finds a lone Mangadai. No, Mangonel. That's not a... You're not a Mangadai. 3 scorpions for our Romans. Still no ballistics, though. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is a pretty good location for both players. We've got crossbows to the back of one army. We've got scorpions to the back of the other. Pikemen very late to the party. Looks like the Tatar is on the high ground. Should take a pretty good battle here, although the numbers for our Roman, how the hell did he all of a sudden get double the army count of his opponent? And the camels melt, the Tatar army disappears. What the hell just happened there? Oh, Mysterio won the game. That's what the hell happened there. What the actual hell? By the way, it is 2 relics to 2, so I'm glad I could still call something. What is going on? I thought that was going to be a little bit more fair. 11 camels. Okay, 11 camels, 21 knights, even with their +9 attack. Remember, counter units generally attack slower than the unit that they're meant to counter, I think. For example, the camel attacking on a 2, the knight on a what, 1.9, 1.8? I always screw that up. The crossbow on a 1.7, the skirmisher on a 3, the pikeman, I believe, also on a 3. Yeah, so the counter unit generally slower just to make up for the counter nature of the unit. But hilarious that the pikemen didn't take any part of that battle. That being said, they didn't really need to. 3 scorpions. So we're in a choke point, which again is good for both players because one has crossbows to the back, the other has scorpions. Now scorpions deal pass-through damage, which is not, not bad. The crossbows, there are accuracy. What is it right now? Okay, so they have 100% accuracy. Okay, so I was going to say arrows that miss still deal half damage to the unit they land on, which is why a choke point is still good for them. Not as good as for a scorpion, but still pretty damn good for them. But what the hell happened here? Let's highlight the armies so that we get a sense of HPs. I don't even think we really need to highlight the scorpions. I don't think he really attacked into them. Okay, so a little bit of tango here and there, which, by the way, is for the benefit of the scorpions because they're just continuing to fire bolts at these crossbows. And let's see what the hell happens. Crossbows are on the high ground. They're not moving. So they're taking a whole bunch of damage. A bunch of knights peel off to the north to get the monk, which is not bad. I guess he suspects he can hold the line here to the center. If the knights die, then the pikemen can take up the mantle of soldier and defense. And let's see what continues. So he's going to get the monks, I'm assuming. Yeah, he gets both monks. Not a single conversion for Villese, which seems to be a theme this game. And the pikemen just come in clutch right at the end there and just slaughter everything. And look at the HP on these crossbows. I mean, one scorpion bolt is going to be enough to get rid of this entire army. And holy moly, what an absolute terrible engagement. I thought it was going to be a little bit better, not factoring in the pikemen, but I didn't realize that there were literally double the amount of knights that there were camels. What's in here? A Mang? Oh yeah, it's Mangonel crew probably pissing their pants, wondering, shit, I'm gonna have to pop out at some point, right into the welcoming arms of a freaking knight. But why did Villese resign? Look at his resources: 1,000 food, 1,100 gold. I mean, we know what that means for a player at this level who has not one but 2 requisite structures for Imperial. Was he going up to Imperial right before he died? No, he wasn't. Unless he had it queued up. No, he didn't even have villagers queued up. So he died very, very wealthy. And it looks like he wanted to go up to Imperial. So why did he resign? Usually, here's my theory, and let's see if I'm right. I'm not looking at the base just yet. When a player loses an army like this, number one, it's very demoralizing. Who's kidding who? To lose your entire army, which, by the way, like I said, the players were taking bites out of each other the entire game. A little bit of a poke over here, a little bit of a poke over here, a little bit of a poke next to the berries over here. They were just killing a little units, little small clumps of units. Little, I don't know why I said little. But it's, number one, demoralizing. Number two, I think it has to do with the military-industrial complex, because I suspect it's going to be pretty lackluster for the Tatars. So he had crossbows and camels. So you need archery ranges and stables. Let's see how many archery ranges. 1 archery range and 2 stables. Well, there you go. There you go. I think if he had 3, 4 stables, 2 archery ranges, maybe he would have continued on. Maybe he would have moved on to perhaps I don't know, Step Lancers or Knights of his own. Again, Mysterio doesn't have ballistics on these Scorpions. And by the way, all three of them survived with 8 kills. Yikes. But I really suspect that even though Villese was gathering the resources to go up to Imperial Age, he had a choice. Either click up to Imperial Age. Well, I don't know why it says 921, 891 now. It said 1,000, 1,100. So we know he had the resources a second ago, right when he died. And it is fast forwarded all the way to the end of the game. I really do wonder why it's why the resources aren't as accurate as we saw before. But in any event, he had 2 choices. Either go up to Imperial, in which case you've got a school of knights here looking to nip at your heels, and 3 monks are going to heal them up real nice and good. You're going to lose your entire forward infrastructure. The knights can just come into here and attack this town center. They do have +2 armor, as we saw, so 4 pierce armor against a town center that does 7 damage is pretty damn good, and they have bloodlines, FYI. So that's option number 1, try to hold the line. Or option number 2, just take that 1,000 gold, 1,000 food, and just start pumping out cavalry units. But option number 2 is also impossible because, again, he's got 2 stables. If he had 3, if he had 4, what does Mr. Yo have? We know he's got 2 barracks because we saw one in the forward. So he has the exact same infrastructure as his opponent, except for 1 extra barracks. They both also, by the way, have a single siege workshop, but it is it's not Mr. Yo who has no army count right now. He's got 28 army count. And Villese, again, economically in a fantastic position, down only 3 villagers, which is basically the kill difference in villager, 2 kills to 0. Sorry, no, what am I talking about? He's the one who killed villagers. Sorry, brain fart over there. 80, and then even 88 villagers to 91, pretty damn similar, not really that different. Looks like the economic upgrades are the same, except that Mr. Yo has heavy plow, and that's really the only difference, which as long as your farms have food on them from when you previously seeded them, I don't think that's really a huge game-changing upgrade advantage. But Villese's army just got way too wiped out. 8 army count, a few camels, a crossbow, a mangonel, which, by the way, again, can't really do anything with. And where are the 2 monks? Where did they escape into? Why did I click them and it took me here? What am I missing? Where are the monks? Okay, there's one over here. Oh, here's here on the left. Okay, so these monks probably should have participated in that battle. Who's kidding who? Although that might have meant 4 dead monks instead of 2, but ultimately wouldn't have mattered. Yeah, I think Villese just, he was trying to go up to Imperial, realized that he couldn't, and then realized that, hey, wait a second, I should not have taken that engage. May have gotten a little too antsy in the pantsy. Had he just continued poking and prodding and biting little niblets off of Mr. Yo, maybe he could have avoided a big fight and gotten his butt up to Imperial, and then all of a sudden Mr. Yo would be the one behind, because Mr. Yo's resources are still about 400 food and 100 gold away from just clicking up, whereas we saw Tatar already has, or rather had, the resources to go up. Yeah, I think there's just no good decision here. It's the best of the worst case scenario, and I think all roads lead to a GG. A fast attempt at Imperial means you're going to lose a whole bunch of infrastructure to this Roman cavalry / Scorpion / monk push, or trying to double down on Castle Age means you're going to be producing 2 units at a time, 3 units at a time from 2 stables and an archery range, which is just not enough. If Villese had saved half his army, probably 2 stables is enough. But because he lost his entire army, I don't think he could replenish it at all in the time that he needs to stop his opponent. And by the way, these are palisade walls. These are not stone walls. And this is open. So all the dice rolls are coming 7 out for our Tatar in red. And because of that, he decides to tap out 29 knights, 27 crossbows, peak APM for Mr. as usual, right in the beginning of the game. Peak APM for Villese towards the middle of the game. Let's see the economies. I can't imagine they're that different or that big, to be honest. Precious resources going to our Tatar, trash resources going to our Roman. Relic gold not really playing a role. About, what is that, 38 relic gold difference? 3 conversions out of 65 is about 5% of the Tatar army converted. 2 out of 74 is about 3%. So conversion is not really playing a role. And ultimately, yeah, like I said, Villese just has no good options here after he took this terrible engage. And as much as I would have absolutely loved to see Romans take on the Tatars and the mobility of the Tatars against the tankiness of the Roman army and just the sheer might of the Roman army. Ultimately, that terrible engage means that Villese just can't stick around. He sees a few moves ahead and knows that there's no bright future waiting for him. And because of that, he decides to live to fight another day, taps out. Mr. Yo gets the W, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.